Did you know that according to Forbes, 900 million people around the world are feeling unfulfilled in their daily lives? Also, according to Forbes, 70% of working Americans are unhappy in their current job. Are you one of those people? I'm wondering about that. I know I certainly have been. Join me as I take on the challenge of turning my biggest obstacles into powerful opportunities, and let's see if I can flip the script. Let's take some of the things that I've been through and see if it's something that you've gone through in your life. When I think about some of my biggest challenges, let's see, how about abuse? It's one of my biggest challenges. There were a variety: sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Let's see. Flipping the script on those took some time. The first thing I had to do was I had to decide that it was time to get to the other side of those. Now, that took a lot of healing work in the traditional sense of things, through counseling, even through medication for a long period of time. Holistic healing became part of that, but the real way I was able to get to the other side of that came from the inside. This is my process that I call inner alchemy. And it is, if you think of turning straw into gold, I look at how do you take something that's painful, and first you have to be able to see the possibility that there's a possibility. And sometimes we can't see those possibilities when we are in so much pain. Sometimes we need the help of someone else. That might be a friend, it might be a counselor, it might be a coach, might be a teacher, might be a mentor. Sometimes it's about getting to that possibility that helps you make those next steps. I like to look at changing pain into possibility and possibility into purpose. Then when you get a little more out of the pain of life, you can still take those pains and do what I call transform them into power. And then taking from there truth and turning it into freedom. All of these sort of alchemical processes, taking one thing and helping it become something else. Internally, I decided that I no longer wanted it to have power over me. I felt like I had been imprisoned long enough by the acts that I had experienced. I felt that I had suffered enough. I had been imprisoned long enough, and it was time for me to make changes. The only way for me to really make the change was to change the way that I thought about it. And one of the things that I share with clients a lot is it's often not the thing that's causing us the problem. It's how we're thinking about the thing. Imagine that you've got something really painful that you've gone through, and it may not be abuse. It might be something like you have a job that just is unhappy and causes you to feel like you need to throw up every day before you go in. I had one of those too. It could be anything. It really could be anything. Where it really starts is don't make the mistake that positive thinking gets you to the other side of it, because that's a dangerous, slippery slope. There's a lot of people who think positive, and it's amazing. Thinking positive is amazing. And There's more to it than that. You can't just take that at face value. In the spiritual community, a lot of times it goes into spiritual bypassing. It's like, oh, just think positive and don't feel those feelings. No, you have to feel the feelings. You have to do the healing. But there is this mindset shift that needs to happen in order for you to really get to the other side. And you take that pain and you turn it into fuel. And the way that I learned to do that was just lots of experience. There was so much damn pain in my life. I was either going to continue to be a victim of the things that had happened to me. Now, being victimized is one thing. Hanging on to being a victim is something different, is really something different, because that causes you to feel defeated. That causes you to feel like there's no options. That causes you to feel like you're just at the mercy of whatever is happening to you. I instead transformed it into what is happening for me. And that's really hard to do, especially when you're in the middle of painful things. And like, oh, great. I wonder, all this is going on. What is this doing for me? And sometimes we don't know. Now, after you get really good at this, you don't even need the hindsight anymore. You can actually know and believe that what is going on right now is clearing paths for something else. Sometimes it is horrific stuff. Sometimes it's stuff that had to happen before something else could happen. We have another example. My dad was killed when he was 33 years old in a car accident. My first husband was also killed when he was 33 years old in a car accident. Needless to say, males in cars at 33 years old caused me a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of worry. As my son began to approach 33, I was terrified. And he and I both, I think, had been holding our breath for a long, long time. It was his dad, he and my daughter's dad, and he was 9 when it happened. And as he began, he had always had some challenges with sleep and everything else. He always had these worries about death, these fears about death. And the closer it got to him becoming 33, I became terrified. And I thought, how do I change this? How do I get past this? Losing my son is not an option. And that was how I was feeling at the time. Well, I do know that his dad had reached out to me several times from the other side. And if you don't believe in this kind of thing, then I'm probably not a good channel for you to watch. So, nonetheless, he reached out to me several times from the other side. And I had such fear around what I was experiencing that I thought, what in the world am I going to do? Because I have such fear. I can't seem to connect to the other side. So I have a friend who has brought me many messages over the past several years. And I went to her to see if she could connect, to see if she could get any input from him about this situation. And the message I got from him was that my son was safe, my son would be okay, and that he made the choice to exit the human experience, and that ensured the safety of our son. So I shared that with my son. We cried, and it brought relief to us both. Now, let me say to you, if you say, don't believe those kinds of things, how do you get past it? Well, the real truth of what happened there was a decision because now we believe that he's safe. Now we believe he's okay. The way the universe works is it doesn't see the difference between the now, the past, and the future. So it's really important that what you think and what you speak is what you want. And it's in the present moment. So we were able to make a shift in that moment to speak life over my son into his existence. And he's now 36. So amazing. So that is a little bit about how you can flip the script on something really painful and change it into something that's more empowering. And when we feel unfulfilled in our lives, it's often because we don't feel we have a choice. It's often because we don't know how to think any other way. It's often because we literally can't see anything else but the pain. So I would love to know about your experiences. And again, they don't have to be as extreme as mine. Part of the reason I give extreme stories from my lifetime is to help you see if what you're going through is not as extreme as the stories that I shared, then the chances of you turning it around are even greater. And if your stories are as extreme or more extreme than mine, then maybe it gives you the idea that it's possible. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to hearing your comments as I continue to make more videos, and the channel will start to become a little more powerful as we get into 2025. I am Tammy Coyne, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose, and also transforming that pain into power and truth into freedom. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.